Let's be honest. Life can often feel like a whirlwind. We're constantly juggling responsibilities, tasks, and goals. And sometimes, despite all the hard work, it feels like we're just spinning our wheels, not truly moving forward. The noise of daily life, combined with our inner struggles, can leave us feeling mentally drained, as though we're chasing something that's always just out of reach. But what if I told you that achieving true mental fulfillment doesn't require you to chase after everything at once? What if the secret lies in mastering a few key habits, ones that not only help you regain control over your life, but also lead you to the peace and clarity you've been longing for? In today's episode, we're going to explore 10 Stoic habits, simple yet powerful practices that can help you develop a sense of mental peace, fulfillment, and purpose. These aren't abstract concepts or lofty ideals. These are practical steps you can start applying today to change your life for the better. So, if you're ready to take control of your life, regain your focus, and start living with intention, let's dive into these 10 Stoic habits that will lead you to true mental fulfillment. 1. Accept only what you can control. Have you ever spent hours, maybe even days, worrying about things that are completely out of your control? It's easy to get caught up in trying to fix problems that aren't yours to solve, or worrying about things that will happen regardless of your efforts. The truth is, focusing on what you can't control only drains your mental energy and keeps you from moving forward. In life, we often get caught in the trap of trying to change people, control outcomes, or anticipate every possible scenario. But the Stoics, like Epictetus, taught us that true peace comes from understanding the simple but profound truth. We cannot control the events that happen to us, but we can control how we respond to them. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself getting worked up over something outside your control, whether it's the weather, a decision made by someone else, or a traffic jam? How did that affect your mood, your energy? It likely didn't help you solve the problem, and it probably made you feel worse. The Stoic approach is radically simple. Instead of wasting your mental energy on the uncontrollable, shift your focus to what is within your control. Your actions, your thoughts, and your reactions are yours to shape. When you fully accept that certain things are beyond your influence, you free yourself from the anxiety and frustration of trying to change them. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent to life. It doesn't mean you stop caring about your work, relationships, or goals. It means you stop wasting time and energy on things you cannot change, and instead focus on making the best choices within your control. The Stoics practiced this mindset daily. They believed that every moment of frustration over the uncontrollable was a moment wasted. So they would ask themselves, what is within my control right now? And take action based on that. For example, if you're facing a challenging situation at work and you can't change the outcome, you still have control over how you approach it. You can choose to stay calm, do your best, and focus on what you can improve. The result might not always be what you want, but you will have peace of mind knowing that you did your part without getting lost in frustration or worry. It's about being proactive with your energy, not reactive. The more you practice this, the more you'll notice that you spend less time worrying and more time moving toward the things that matter most to you. And with that, you will find mental clarity and fulfillment because you'll be focused on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your choices. So today, ask yourself, what am I focusing on that is out of my control? And, more importantly, what can I focus on that is within my power to change? When you make this shift, you'll feel the weight of the world lift off your shoulders. You'll find that, by accepting what you can't control, you are actually gaining more control over your own happiness and peace of mind. 2. Practice self-discipline. Every day. Self-discipline isn't just about saying no to things you enjoy. It's about creating the mental strength to consistently make choices that align with your values and long-term goals. The reality is, the difference between where you are now and where you want to be often boils down to one thing: your ability to stay disciplined in the face of distractions. In our modern world, distractions are everywhere, from social media notifications to the temptation of procrastination. It's easy to let the day slip by without making meaningful progress. It's not that we lack ambition or intelligence, it's that we lack the self-discipline to stay focused on what truly matters. And this is where the Stoics really shine. They believed that true freedom comes from the ability to control our impulses, to resist the easy path, and to consistently make decisions that contribute to our growth. Think about your daily habits. How many of them are truly in alignment with the person you want to become? You might find that many of your habits are mindless: checking your phone first thing in the morning, snacking when you're not hungry, or pushing your most important tasks to tomorrow. These small habits add up over time, shaping who you are and where you'll end up. The Stoics taught that our actions, even in small moments, define us. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom, according to the Stoics, comes from mastering your own desires and impulses. It's about learning to say no when necessary, even if it's to something that feels good in the moment, and saying yes to the actions that will help you grow in the long run. Self-discipline isn't about being harsh on yourself or suppressing your desires entirely. It's about knowing when to indulge and when to hold back. It's about creating a balance that allows you to pursue your goals without being derailed by distractions or short-term temptations. The key is building the habit of self-discipline in small ways every day. It's like strengthening a muscle. Over time, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Start by identifying the areas where you struggle with discipline. Is it waking up on time? Is it sticking to a fitness routine? Or is it staying focused on your work instead of scrolling through your phone? Once you've pinpointed these areas, commit to making small changes. Set clear, achievable goals and build your discipline around those goals. For example, instead of checking your phone first thing in the morning, commit to spending the first 30 minutes of your day in silence, reflecting on your goals or meditating. Or, instead of saying, "I'll start tomorrow when it comes to your fitness," set a specific time each day to move your body, even if it's just for 10 minutes. The Stoics believed that these daily practices would help cultivate inner strength and wisdom. They didn't expect perfection, but they did believe in the importance of consistency. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're strengthening your character. And with time, that discipline becomes second nature. It's no longer about forcing yourself to do the hard work. It's about choosing the hard work because you know it's what will lead you to where you want to go. So, start small. Make one decision today that requires discipline and stick to it. With each step, you'll be building the foundation for a stronger, more focused you. And as you build that discipline, you'll find that it doesn't just help you reach your goals, it gives you a sense of pride and accomplishment, knowing that you're consistently making the right choices, no matter how difficult. 3. Stay calm in the face of adversity. Life is full of challenges. There will always be obstacles that come your way, whether it's a sudden setback at work, a personal crisis, or the unexpected hurdles that seem to pop up out of nowhere. In those moments, it's easy to get swept up in the emotions of the situation. Anger, frustration, fear, these are natural responses. But here's where the Stoics had a profound insight. Problems don't affect us. Our reactions to them do. The key to maintaining your peace of mind in difficult times lies in how you choose to respond. Most people react impulsively when faced with adversity, allowing their emotions to dictate their actions. But the Stoics believed that true strength lies in the ability to stay calm and rational, no matter what is happening around you. They taught that we cannot control the events that happen to us, but we can control how we respond to them. Think about a time when you faced a challenge. Maybe it was a stressful work situation, a difficult conversation, or an unexpected change in your life. How did you react? Did you get upset, lash out, or freeze in fear? Or did you take a moment to pause, breathe, and think about how you could handle the situation in the best way possible? The way you respond in those moments defines your peace of mind, and it shapes how you move through life. The Stoics were masters at controlling their reactions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a reminder that you can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you choose to respond. And the way you choose to respond can either strengthen you or weaken you. Staying calm in the face of adversity doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It means acknowledging your emotions, but not allowing them to control you. It's about creating space between the stimulus, the problem, and your response, so that you can choose your reaction consciously. This practice requires self-awareness and a deep understanding of what truly matters. In moments of adversity, ask yourself, what is in my control right now? What is the best possible response to this situation? When you focus on what you can control, your actions, your attitude, your thoughts, you regain your power, and you can navigate challenges with clarity and calm. Another key Stoic practice is the concept of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. This means that before facing a challenge, you mentally prepare yourself for the possibility of adversity. By acknowledging that problems will arise and that things won't always go according to plan, you strengthen your resolve. You're no longer blindsided when adversity hits. You're ready to face it with equanimity. So, how can you start practicing this in your own life? The next time you face a challenge, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply and reflect on how you want to respond. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a step back and choose a measured, rational approach. You'll find that the more you practice this, the easier it becomes to stay calm in the face of adversity. Remember, life will throw challenges your way, but the power to stay calm, to think clearly, and to act with purpose is always within your control. And it's in those moments of calm that you find your true strength. 4. Embrace discomfort and personal growth. We all love comfort. It's natural to want to stay in a place where we feel safe, where things are predictable, and where we don't have to push ourselves too hard. But here's the hard truth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. In fact, if you're not facing discomfort in some form, you're probably not growing as much as you could be. Think about the moments in your life when you've experienced real growth. Maybe it was when you faced a difficult challenge, took a risk, or pushed yourself beyond your limits. It likely didn't feel easy in the moment. It was probably uncomfortable, maybe even painful, but it was exactly that discomfort that led to growth. The Stoics understood this well and believed that the path to becoming the best version of yourself requires embracing discomfort, not avoiding it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, believed that it is only through struggle and hardship that we develop the strength, wisdom, and resilience needed to thrive. He famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is a reminder that obstacles are not just obstacles, they are opportunities. They are the very things that shape us and make us stronger. Personal growth involves facing challenges head-on, whether it's pushing through physical discomfort in a workout, dealing with the mental strain of learning something new, or facing emotional discomfort in a difficult conversation. It's through these moments that we expand our capacity. Discomfort is the catalyst for change. It's what forces us to adapt, to learn, and to evolve into the person we need to become. This doesn't mean we should seek out unnecessary suffering or live in a state of constant struggle. It means we need to stop running from discomfort when it arises. Instead of avoiding the tough conversations, the difficult tasks, or the uncomfortable truths about ourselves, we should lean into them. The Stoics believed that if you can learn to embrace discomfort, you can face anything life throws your way with calm and resilience. In practice, embracing discomfort might look like challenging yourself to do something you've been putting off, whether that's speaking in front of a group, taking on a new responsibility, or starting a project that scares you. It might mean doing something physically demanding, like working out or eating healthier, even when your body is telling you it would rather take the easy route. It might mean taking risks that push you outside of your comfort zone, knowing that it's those risks that will teach you the most about yourself. One key Stoic practice is to reflect daily on your discomforts. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what did I do today that was uncomfortable? How did it make me grow? When you make a habit of embracing discomfort, you'll begin to see that it's not something to fear, it's something to welcome. It becomes a sign that you're moving forward, that you're stretching beyond your current limitations. As you face discomfort, remind yourself that growth is happening in those moments. The more you push yourself beyond what feels easy, the more you'll develop the mental and emotional strength to handle life's challenges. You'll become more resilient, more adaptable, and more capable of achieving your goals. So, when discomfort arises, don't shy away from it. Lean into it. Embrace it. Because every time you do, you're building a stronger, more capable version of yourself. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you step outside of it and challenge yourself to become better. 5. Live with purpose and meaning. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, what's the real purpose of my life? In the hustle and bustle of daily routines, it's easy to get caught up in just surviving, going through the motions, without ever truly questioning whether we're living in line with what matters most to us. We wake up, we work, we fulfill our obligations, and we go to bed, only to repeat the cycle the next day. But at the end of it all, we may feel empty, wondering if this is all there is. Living without purpose can lead to a feeling of being lost, disconnected, and directionless. It's like setting out on a road trip without a map. While you may be moving, you have no clear destination, and it's easy to get lost or frustrated along the way. The Stoics understood the power of living with intention. They knew that true fulfillment comes not from chasing after fleeting pleasures or external validation, but from aligning your daily actions with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of living with purpose. He said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is a powerful reminder that life is not about waiting for the perfect moment to find your purpose. It's about actively choosing to live in a way that aligns with your values every single day. Purpose isn't something you find in the big achievements or milestones. It's woven into the small, everyday choices you make. It's the decision to live with integrity, to act with kindness, and to focus on what truly matters. It's about living in alignment with your core values and ensuring that every action you take brings you closer to the life you want to live. Without this sense of purpose, even success can feel hollow. Living with meaning also means defining what success looks like for you, not based on society's expectations or someone else's idea of happiness. Maybe success to you means building a meaningful career or creating deep connections with others, or living a life of simplicity and inner peace. Whatever it is, living with purpose means actively pursuing it, making choices that reflect it, and not getting sidetracked by distractions that don't serve your goals. Here's a simple exercise to help you start living with more purpose. Take a few minutes each day to reflect on your core values. What's truly important to you? What kind of person do you want to be? Write these things down and keep them somewhere visible. Use them as a guide to make decisions, especially when you face challenges or when life gets overwhelming. Ask yourself, does this action align with my values and my purpose? Living with purpose also means being intentional about your time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but how you use those hours makes all the difference. Are you spending them on things that matter, or are you filling them with distractions that leave you feeling empty at the end of the day? The Stoics didn't waste time on things that didn't align with their goals. They focused on their mission, their duty, and their values. So, start today by reflecting on what gives your life meaning. Make a commitment to yourself that every action you take will be in alignment with your purpose. Life is too short to live passively, just reacting to what comes your way. Live intentionally, live with purpose, and watch how it transforms your life. 6. Reflect daily on your actions. How often do you take a moment at the end of the day to pause and reflect on how things went? If you're like most people, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily tasks, only to collapse into bed without ever truly evaluating the day. But the truth is, consistent reflection is one of the most powerful tools you can use to improve yourself and move closer to your goals. Reflection isn't about self-criticism or looking for mistakes. It's about taking a step back and examining your actions, thoughts, and feelings throughout the day. By doing this, you can identify patterns in your behavior, learn from your successes, and recognize areas where you can improve. Without reflection, it's easy to repeat the same mistakes or miss opportunities for growth. The Stoics understood that constant self-improvement was key to living a fulfilling life. Epictetus, another famous Stoic philosopher, advised, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." In other words, understanding yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, and habits is the first step in becoming the person you want to be. Self-reflection allows you to gain that understanding and use it as a guide for how to live your life with intention and purpose. Take a moment and think about your daily routine. How often do you evaluate how you spent your time, how you responded to challenges, or how you treated others? Reflection doesn't have to be a time-consuming exercise, but it does require honesty. You need to be willing to ask yourself tough questions like, did I live in alignment with my values today? Or, what could I have done better? Daily reflection doesn't just help you identify areas for improvement, it also reinforces positive habits. When you take a moment to acknowledge what went well during the day, you reinforce the behaviors that lead to success. Maybe you made a decision to prioritize your health, or you took the time to listen deeply to a loved one. By reflecting on these actions, you remind yourself of the values you want to uphold, and you're more likely to continue those actions in the future. The Stoics didn't just reflect on their actions once in a while, they made it a daily practice. For example, Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, regularly wrote down his thoughts, actions, and reflections. He used this process to align himself with his values and to stay grounded in his principles. This practice of reflection became a tool for him to stay focused, balanced, and intentional, despite the chaos of his life as emperor. To integrate daily reflection into your life, set aside a few minutes at the end of each day to evaluate your actions. It could be as simple as journaling your thoughts or mentally reviewing your day before bed. Ask yourself, what did I do today that brought me closer to my goals? What did I do today that I could have done differently? Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Reflection helps you learn from both your successes and failures. The more you practice this, the clearer your path will become, and the more intentional your actions will be. So, make a commitment today. Take time to reflect every day. Whether it's in the morning, before bed, or whenever it works for you, make reflection a habit. In doing so, you'll be taking a powerful step toward becoming the best version of yourself, one day at a time. 7. Avoid emotional dependence. How often do we let our emotions be dictated by others, whether it's the approval of a boss, the opinion of friends, or the reaction of family members? We all experience moments when our happiness or mood feels entirely dependent on someone else. But here's the truth. True emotional independence comes from within. The Stoics understood this very well, and their teachings can guide us toward achieving emotional freedom. The idea behind emotional dependence is that we place our happiness, security, or self-worth in the hands of external sources. We tie how we feel to what others think, how they treat us, or how they respond to our actions. And while it's completely natural to care about the people around us, when we let our emotions hinge entirely on others, we give away our power. It's like building your emotional house on shifting sand, unstable, unpredictable, and vulnerable to the whims of others. Imagine how liberating it would be if your mood, your happiness, and your sense of self-worth were not dependent on someone else's opinion of you. What would it feel like to be in complete control of your emotions, no matter what was happening around you? That's exactly what the Stoics strived for: emotional independence. Epictetus, one of the central Stoic philosophers, taught that we should focus on controlling only what is within our power, our thoughts, actions, and responses, and let go of the rest. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, he said. When you let external circumstances or people determine how you feel, you're relinquishing control of your inner peace. Instead, the Stoics advised that we cultivate inner strength and resilience so that no matter what happens around us, we remain steady, grounded, and focused on our own well-being. Think about your recent experiences. How many times did you feel upset, anxious, or elated, based on what someone else did or said? How much of your emotional state depends on other people's actions or reactions? The first step toward emotional independence is recognizing this pattern. Once you see it, you can start to reframe your thoughts and responses. Emotional independence doesn't mean becoming indifferent to others or cutting yourself off emotionally. It's about maintaining control over your feelings while still allowing yourself to care for and empathize with others. It's about finding balance where you can be supportive and compassionate without sacrificing your own peace of mind. How can you start cultivating emotional independence? The first step is to be mindful of how much of your emotional state depends on external validation. Begin to ask yourself, what do I need to feel good about myself? What can I control that will bring me peace? Then, take action on that. Practice self-compassion, affirm your own worth, and nurture your internal sense of fulfillment. When you stop seeking constant validation from others, you free yourself to live authentically and powerfully. The Stoics also recommended reflecting on your emotions daily. Take some time to check in with yourself. How did I respond emotionally today? Was I in control of my reactions, or did I let external forces dictate my feelings? By reflecting on this regularly, you can slowly begin to break free from emotional dependence and develop the resilience to navigate life's challenges with a clear and stable mind. Emotional independence is not about becoming cold or detached from the world. It's about knowing that your happiness and self-worth are rooted in your own beliefs and actions, not in the approval of others. The more you practice this, the more you will feel a deep sense of inner strength and confidence, regardless of what's happening around you. 8. Master your emotions. Don't let them master you. We all have emotions. They're part of being human. Whether it's joy, sadness, anger, or frustration, emotions are an inherent part of our experience. But here's the question: how often do you let your emotions dictate your actions? How often do you act impulsively, based solely on what you're feeling in the moment, only to regret it later? The Stoics believed that emotions are not inherently bad, but allowing them to control us is. They understood that while we cannot always control our initial emotional reactions, we can control how we respond to those emotions. The key is emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions in a way that helps us rather than harms us. When we let our emotions take the lead, we often make decisions that are driven by impulse, not reason. How many times have you acted out of anger, frustration, or fear, only to find that your actions didn't reflect your true values or your long-term goals? Emotions, when unchecked, can lead us to react rather than respond thoughtfully, and that's where problems arise. The Stoics taught us that we should not be slaves to our emotions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In this context, quality also refers to the quality of our emotional responses. If we allow our emotions to drive us, our actions may be less than optimal. But if we can manage our emotions and respond to them with reason and calm, we can live more in line with our values and goals. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. It means recognizing and acknowledging them, then choosing how to respond. For example, when you feel anger rising within you, instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect. Ask yourself, why am I angry? Is this worth reacting to? What would a calm, rational response look like in this situation? The Stoics also emphasize the importance of perspective. When something happens that triggers an emotional reaction, ask yourself, is this really as bad as I think it is? What would my life look like in the long term if I let this situation go? By shifting your perspective, you often realize that the emotional reaction isn't as important or as impactful as you initially believed. This allows you to regain control and respond in a more grounded and measured way. Take a moment today to reflect on your emotions. How often do you let them control your decisions? Are there areas in your life where you act impulsively, driven by your emotional state? The more you become aware of your emotional patterns, the easier it will be to practice emotional regulation. Mastering your emotions takes time and practice, but it's a skill worth developing. The more you learn to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, the more you'll feel empowered and in control of your life. Your emotions are a part of you, but they don't have to define you. With practice, you can become the master of your emotional responses, not the other way around. So, start today by paying attention to your emotions. Recognize them, acknowledge them, but don't let them steer your ship. You are in control of your own mind and actions, and with time, you'll find that you can navigate even the stormiest emotional seas with calm and clarity. 9. Learn to live with less and appreciate more. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, to buy more, own more, experience more, it can be difficult to understand the true value of living with less. We are constantly told that happiness is tied to accumulation, more possessions, more wealth, more luxury. But here's the thing, the more we accumulate, the more we are weighed down. The more we chase external things, the less we often find true fulfillment. The Stoics had a radically different approach. They understood that true contentment comes not from having more, but from needing less. Living with less doesn't mean depriving yourself of the things that matter, but rather letting go of the unnecessary desires and distractions that consume our attention, time, and energy. By living simply, you create space for what truly matters in life. Think about the possessions or experiences you've accumulated over the years. How many of them truly bring you happiness? How many of them are tied to fleeting pleasures or societal expectations, rather than your own personal values? We often accumulate things because we think they'll make us happy, but in the process, we end up cluttering our lives, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The Stoics believed that happiness is found in simplicity, not excess. They practiced a life of austerity, living with only what they truly needed. They didn't see value in luxury or material wealth because they understood that these things didn't contribute to inner peace or long-lasting happiness. Instead, they focused on cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. These, they believed, were the true markers of a fulfilled life. By living with less, you not only reduce stress and distractions, but you also learn to appreciate the things you do have. When you remove the excess, the trivial, and the unnecessary, you begin to see life more clearly. You can focus on what truly brings you joy, meaningful relationships, personal growth, and experiences that enrich your soul. The Stoics knew that the less we have, the less we have to worry about, and the more room we have for what really matters. This doesn't mean you should abandon all your belongings or live like a hermit. It simply means that you should take a hard look at what you've accumulated and ask yourself, do these things truly add value to my life? Are they helping me become the person I want to be, or are they simply taking up space, both physically and mentally? The practice of minimalism, removing unnecessary things from your life, can help you find more peace, clarity, and gratitude. When you no longer focus on acquiring more, you start to see the beauty in the simple things around you. The quiet moments, the meaningful conversations, the things that actually bring you lasting joy. So what can you do today to start living with less? It could be decluttering your home, but it might also mean simplifying your schedule, saying no to things that don't align with your goals, or learning to appreciate the things you already have instead of constantly seeking new ones. Every time you let go of something unnecessary, you make room for what's truly important. The Stoics understood that true wealth isn't found in possessions. It's found in the freedom to live simply, to appreciate the present moment, and to focus on what truly nourishes the soul. By learning to live with less and appreciate more, you'll find that your life is richer in ways you never imagined. 10. Remember that life is finite. Memento mori. We live our lives as if we have all the time in the world, pushing off dreams for tomorrow, putting off important conversations, procrastinating on that one project we've been meaning to start. But the truth is, time is our most precious resource, and once it's gone, we can't get it back. This is why the Stoic principle of memento mori, or remember you will die, is so powerful. It's not meant to be a morbid reminder, but rather a call to live with intention, purpose, and urgency. When you reflect on the fact that life is finite, it serves as a wake-up call. We don't have unlimited time to achieve our goals or pursue our passions. Every moment we spend stuck in the same routines, chasing after things that don't matter or avoiding the hard work, is a moment that we'll never get back. This realization can be uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly freeing. It pushes us to stop waiting for the perfect time and to start living fully right now. The Stoics believed that contemplating death wasn't meant to make us fearful, but to help us live more wisely. By acknowledging the finite nature of life, we are encouraged to appreciate every moment, to focus on what truly matters, and to stop wasting time on things that don't contribute to our growth, happiness, or fulfillment. This doesn't mean we should live in constant fear or anxiety about death, but rather, we should use the awareness of its inevitability to guide our decisions. If we remember that our time is limited, we are more likely to prioritize the things that will leave us with no regrets. We are more likely to spend time with loved ones, pursue our passions, and take bold actions toward our goals. The reality is, we're all going to face our end someday. The question is, what will we do with the time we have left? Will we continue to wait for the right moment, or will we start taking action now? The Stoics believed that we should live as if each day could be our last, focusing on the present, taking bold steps toward our goals, and making sure we're spending our time in ways that align with our values. So, today, I encourage you to reflect on your own mortality. How would you live differently if you truly embraced the idea that life is finite? Would you stop procrastinating? Would you call that friend you've been meaning to catch up with? Would you take that risk you've been avoiding? The reality is, life is far too short to keep waiting for tomorrow. Live with urgency. Live with intention. Live like you know your time is limited, and make each moment count. Memento mori isn't a dark, depressing concept. It's a call to live fully and to make the most of every single day. Embrace this truth and let it inspire you to live with purpose, to prioritize what matters, and to stop putting off the things that will truly bring you joy, fulfillment, and peace. As we wrap up today's episode, remember that the journey to mental fulfillment and personal growth isn't about making huge, sudden changes. It's about committing to small, intentional steps every day. The 10 Stoic habits we discussed: accepting only what you can control, practicing self-discipline, staying calm in adversity, embracing discomfort, and living with purpose, are all pathways to building a life of meaning, fulfillment, and inner peace. These habits don't require perfection. In fact, it's the daily practice of these small, deliberate actions that will transform your mindset and your life. Each moment offers an opportunity to practice Stoicism, to build the resilience and mental strength necessary to live a fulfilled, purposeful life. By mastering these habits, you'll find that the distractions, frustrations, and stresses of life become easier to handle, and you'll be more connected to what truly matters. So, what's the next step? Start today. Pick one habit that resonated most with you and implement it in your life right now. Whether it's focusing on what you can control, embracing discomfort for growth, or reminding yourself of the brevity of life, take that first step. With each action you take, you're building the foundation for a life that's not just about surviving, but about thriving. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps spread the message of Stoicism and personal growth to others who may need it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these Stoic habits and how you're incorporating them into your life, so feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for listening, and remember, the Stoic path to fulfillment is a journey, not a destination. Keep practicing, keep growing, and keep moving forward. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep striving for your best life.